I should be live. Let me know if it's working. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to people around the world, wherever you are. Okay. Yes, I think I am live. Oh, hi. Sebo, you're the first one. Hello, hello, hello. If you can tell, there's a difference of the live stream of this one than the ones before. It's higher definition, supposedly, okay? I set it up to 180. Previously, it was all 720 because my upload speed was crap. Now I have a different upload speed. Supposedly, it should be working better. We should be less laggy and higher definition. So, if that's the case, it should be the case, okay? I hope it is. We will test it out, see if this new internet thing is working. When I did the speed test with softwares, my upload speed now is 10 times faster than before, so let's hope it's actually that. Hello from Malaysia, from Netherlands, from Europe. Wow, Islands. Last time you were here too, right? Because I remember that name of the place. Also, I put the light on a different side. Previously, it's always on my right side. Now I know actually for a fact that if the light comes from the left side of me, it will make me look better. But I just always put it on the right somehow. Intentionally not looking my best. Well, today we just switch it and just see if it's working. Hi from the UK. Oh, cool. Yeah, it should look like higher definition than before of my previous live stream because I always set it at 720 before. Now I have 1080. It should be higher definition. I mean, technically I can do 4K. My camera, my internet now can do that too, but it's just gonna make the file ginormous. So, thank you. I'm in black because it's October. And this is actually orange, but hey, who cares? It can just work as pumpkins too. They're literally the same kind of look if you make something like this. Did you drop Romance of Little Forest? Yes, I did. I just know it's gonna end well. You know, they're gonna be happily ever after together. What else do I need to know? It's just gonna be a lot of those coming together, breaking apart, stuff of whatever romantic dramas, and eventually it's gonna be all good. Everything is like unicorns and rainbows and perfect. So and so in their process of that romantic relationship, it's not that interesting. You just know it's just gonna be this and that and that and that, and I just don't want to see the second couple. Cause it's so distracting, and that's why I dropped it. It's like, yeah, I know the main couple is gonna go down this route and it's gonna be fine, and then the other couple, I don't even want to look at them, so I didn't continue watching it. Talk about the pain. Lebanon, wow. Indiana, South California, Brazil, wow, so many different places. Hey. It's a working day, so yeah. Well, we will do giveaways, okay, during this live stream, and I'm just gonna do it like I always do that. Pick randomly a person from the chat, and then you can email me about what if you have any specific gift card stuff that you want, and I can purchase for you, $50, like I did before. Yeah, we're gonna do that during this live stream, and literally can be anything of your pick. I previously have done like grocery cards for people, which is really fun. So yeah. Syracuse, Toronto. Do you know it's snowing right now? Can you believe it? It's actually snowing outside. It's the first snow of 2022's, like not counting the beginning of the year, you know? Like actually this whole run of season, it's 13th. It's very early, October. I mean, usually you do get the first snow where I am in October, but later, like last 10 days or something. So it actually is snowing outside. Although you can't tell because it's very, very tiny flurry, and then it's still above zero, so it's not gonna stay. Once it hits the ground, it turns into water, but it's snowing. Ha. Hi, Melody. I see. Familiar names. Already in bed, getting ready to sleep. Well, you can you set a clock on your phone or something and just say like half an hour, shut down everything and then go to sleep. Singapore, Hague, Oregon, oh, so many people. Guatemala, wow. Jealous. Yeah, for people who do not get snow where they are, they always want snow. But for people who gets too much snow, it's just like hazards, mud, extra shoving work. It's just like you don't see the good in it anymore. Quebec, oh wow. Are you getting any snows? I think there's gonna be a blizzard, but not where I am. Like it's still somewhere in this province because it's huge, and it's gonna be really bad. Not here. It's still above zero where I am, which is fine. Some parts of my province, I think they're getting -40 soon. I just saw that report. I'm like, really? October? Are you kidding me? Yeah. So we shall see. Yeah, the hurricane was crazy. It went from south of like down south of United States, and it just climbs up along the coastline. France. Hi from France. I've heard good things about that drama, but I'm not watching it for certain reasons. Just I don't have time to invest in it, because I know if I go and watch it, I probably will like the drama, but then I wouldn't be able to talk about it because of certain things, and then it's just a waste of my time and I don't have. So I opt to not watch it. But just on the drama itself as a detective story, I heard good things about it. Yeah, had they not used that actor, it would make things so much easier for everybody, but unfortunately, it's complicated. She and her perfect husband, we do not know. They said 13, and then they pulled it off, saying later, do not know what happened. Some kind of, who knows what. I don't think it's anything to do with the content itself has problems. Otherwise, they wouldn't be putting it out in the first place, saying we're gonna air on the 13th. And then people are saying because of the huge conference and congression and the huge thing happening in Beijing from 16 onwards. But the thing is, other dramas are airing too. Like new dramas are being aired right around this time. So I don't think that would be a reason for you to not air a romantic, a contemporary drama. It's like nothing in conflict in any way that I can think of. It may just, honestly, I don't know, maybe the KPI team, like the team who is in charge of promoting and getting all the of that drama, is intentionally doing it, so it makes people excited, and then you get a huge rush of traffic and mentioning and social media move on this drama, and then it gets taken down, and then they are gonna come back for the second time so they can get a second round of KPI. I have no idea. It's pretty weird that that's happening with that drama. I don't see why it wouldn't air soon. So it's just we're talking about the she and her husband, 28, 2 and 8. That drama with Yang Mi and Xu Kai. They said during this week it's gonna come out on 13th. And then 2 days later, they said, wait, we're gonna announce the actual date later. So it didn't. It's not gonna go live on 13th. So who knows? Today, right? So yeah, these things you never know. Side story of Fox? Probably not. I just heard from other people about like it's really just portraying the original novel again. Just because Jin Yong is dead, therefore you can do anything to his work. Lovely. Familiar Stranger. Yeah, Familiar Stranger is like another low budget, nicely done small thing. This director has been doing this for a while, and they actually had a shorter shooting period of Stranger than the Killer is Romantic. I think for Killer is Romantic, they managed to get these sets and stuff and shoot for 17 days. But then for Stranger, they only had 15 days. But I think they definitely make the money back and more, so it's a good deal. No main leads. Clara. I think for those type of drama that has way too much of not the main leads plotline, they're just trying to fill time. They try to stretch the drama longer. Otherwise, you have like only a 20 episode or 16 episode drama, and you're not gonna make money on that because they're sold by episode. So they add another, literally just squeeze in another story into it, so that it's a 30 episodes contemporary, so they can make money more. But yeah, it just sacrifices the story quality. It's just bad writers do that, okay? Irresponsible and not talented writers do that. Short drama. Currently, there's a drama ongoing. It's gonna finish airing by Saturday on iQIYI, and I'm watching it. It's really good. It's the 摇滚狂花, the rock and roll drama of Yao Chen and Zhang Dafei. I don't know how many people are watching it because it just came out this week and it's gonna finish airing in 6 days. It literally just chuck it out and finishes airing. Very, very, very efficient. The Chinese name is 摇滚狂花. English name, let me check. Does it have an English name? Rocket Mom. Okay, so that's the English title. And it's on iQIYI. It's pretty good compared to most of the other short dramas we've seen this year. And I've watched to 6. We have today it's gonna air to 8, tomorrow 10, and then Saturday finish. So if it all turns out very nicely at the end, definitely we'll talk about it. Jin Yong, oh, let me just, yeah, he would be unhappy. Yeah. These days, all the Jin Yong stuff, right? First is the fighting is no longer very exciting. The choreography is not working really well these days. And then they did change some very essential things about characters, which, like long-time book fans would not appreciate. House of the Dragon? No, I haven't. I don't know. The whole GOT heartbreak is too much of a pain. So probably will not touch the IP anymore. 大考 haven't watched. I think I just don't want to watch a 高考 focused drama. It just feels way too depressing. Even though I haven't actually taken part in 高考 myself, I am just very lucky, very, very lucky that I managed to escape that and not getting touched by it. 胡同, haven't. Okay, yeah. The first part of the story gets a lot of criticism, and I did look at certain clips. It does have some very essential problems if you're actually talking about that era's story, there are a lot of things that doesn't work, like doesn't fit, and it's very out of place. For anybody who actually knows, say around after the 40s, so 50s, 60s China, what it's like, it's just wrong. Like the people who filmed that part probably had no knowledge of that, or they didn't do any research. So like from props to costume to just the look of things, and a lot of things are like that's just so not right. So I didn't watch drama. Also, for non-local Beijinger to play local Beijinger, it's actually not as easy as you imagined. People think you just speak like a relatively the type of Mandarin. No, actually the local Beijinger's Mandarin is very peculiar. And I happen to know a couple of very local, like generations Beijinger in life. So I know what they sound like, this very peculiar sound of it. If you cannot capture that, it destroys the drama. Immediately, it's like not believable. No matter anything else you do. As an actor, if you say you are that local place person, but then you don't speak the right way, crashes instantly. So. You're talking about 天龙八部, right? Maybe not. 杨佑宁and 白书. Yeah, that one was bad. You want to watch My Deepest Dream? I tried the first episode and then quit. It's me. It's totally me. I cannot continue watching the drama, but not because the story is pretty interesting. It's like time travel, parallel universe. It's like a loop of things. It's like she has 1 year of her life lost and she's not sure what happened. Like all that is pretty intriguing, but I have my reasons that I don't want to continue watching that drama. Hi, thank you, Omar, for your super chat. Sneak peek. Okay. 王鹤棣, 白鹿. Yeah, they just came out today, right? The news. The 霸总 drama, the contemporary one. 错撩. Okay, it's a very, very archetypical 霸总 novel. And it's been rumored for about a week, really, before it finally confirmed today, I think. Yeah, just before this happened. Zhao Lusi really needs to slow down and get a coach to work on her acting, because she's not bad. Like, she is not bad. But she has already fallen into the... She's like somebody who's working in a factory doing the screws. And it's too much repetition. And she just does it the same way every time. Precise, copying herself. And she actually doesn't consider the characters. She just does it, right? The way she does it always. And that's not really how you should do acting. It's gonna totally take your energy out very soon. Yeah. She really just needs to slow down and think about what she's doing. She's not thinking. Like all the acting you see is she's almost like she's gotten to that kind of it's all programmed. Like she's already programmed, and she's stopped treating every new character as a new character. She's just regurgitating everything she's done before. So that's why it just doesn't it doesn't work for anything that's beyond her reach. Previous things she hasn't done, when she does it, it's just like all out of place. Ho Minghao, yeah, that hair of Hu Tong of Ho Minghao is so wrong. Like in 50s China, nobody has that hair. Like you can go and look at the 400 million people at the time living and breathing. Nobody would have that kind of haircut. It just didn't exist for the time. So it's very weird when you look at the drama. 不负如来不负卿. I know that. I think I know that one. Isn't that like a old one with a monk? A young monk played by 边城? Is it? I've even used like snippets of like footage from that to make my edits. Video drama versus reality. Yeah. Well, depending on if we have like a really good entry point again. It's like if I just drop it out of nowhere, it's not as interesting. The best thing is if you have something ongoing that's the drama is presenting, but it's a version of history or reality, and then you do a video. It kind of goes with it. Right now, there isn't a really good drama ongoing that I think you can do that. So I'm at the mercy of Chinese Dramaland. Song of Life. No, I haven't. Hospital dramas, as soon as I hear people tell me things of that has problems, I quit. I don't even try. Haven't tried the Kaluli. I know it's ongoing. I know about it. Some people are watching and saying it's pretty interesting. We shall see if I get around to watch it. Yoku. Koitake online store. I have no idea. What is that? Yeah, the monk drama. Yeah, I know. 不负如来不负卿. Because I used certain parts of it because it has really good shots. And then 边城 was, yeah. It was the better times of a young lad. Love Like the Galaxy, yeah. That kind of drama, like it's the typical thing that they can finish the story in 40 episodes, but they drag it on, type of thing. CGI very convincing. C dramas, well, there are good ones, but usually those ones don't make good money. Also certain dramas, like if they're really tasteful, they're trying to make you not see the CGI, but they actually have a lot of CGI, whereas the ones you clearly see, it's CGI. That just means they are the production line dramas that has no souls of their own. Firefighter dramas, yeah, I don't know if it's being filmed. We have a few that has come out already. Not really anything super good. So currently, I think it just finished airing drama is Are You Safe? Little Forest has also finished. Just finished. We are looking at the Luo Yunxi and Wu Qianwan coming out tomorrow, and then the Yang Mi Xu Kaiwan probably still will come out soon, just not today. I don't know what happened with that project. Then before the end of the year, we're likely to see An Le Zhuan, Legend of An Le with Di Reba and Gong Jun. We are also likely to see a couple of ones that is quite anticipated. Let me see. I probably will talk about it tomorrow in my video, but just to mention it here. Yeah, what is it? The pilot drama with Wang Kai and Tan Songyun. The pilot one. If anybody still remembers. So he's playing a captain of... Yeah, both of them are playing pilots, basically. News on, Wang Hedi and Bai Lu's new project. There's the drama that has just started airing, which is 10 years, like our 10 years or something. Is there Our Times? Yeah, that one I've mentioned previously. Zhang Huiwen is in it, and she's playing the dancers who got famous, actually, for real, in last year's Chinese Spring Festival variety show doing the Tang Dynasty Palace Girl dancing. So she's playing one of those dancers. Quite interesting. Anything else? Yeah, and yeah. So we have a couple of dramas that may come out before the end of the year. So November. And usually in December, like the middle part of December, you're gonna see a huge release of dramas. It's been doing that for years now. If you still remember, last couple of years around end of the year time, you would like Legend of Fei, Luoyang, Joy of Life. They all came out around that time. So December probably will be a big release month too. Light Chaser Rescue. Yes, that's the Luo Yunxi and Wu Qian. They finally are playing a couple as the leads for a proper drama, as previously they were the younger version of the older actors, right? 何以笙箫默 many years ago. Now they are in one proper one. Cool. Asking white in the trailer. I mean, given that Li Ruba and Gong Jun are both naturally very pale to start with, like just for being Chinese, it's already at the lowest kind of like the lightest type of skin you can have. And then with Youku's unforgiving, unapologetic filter, you're just gonna get it even whiter. It's a given. End of the Moon, probably 23rd. Yeah, 白鹿罗云熙. That one, period dramas, usually takes a bit longer to do. Yeah, white as a ghost. I mean, Li Ruba is very pale anyway to start with, and then with a little bit filtering, you're just gonna get it even worse. Like if she gets any paler, she will be at Nicole Kidman's level, which is like I think the limit of human beings. Rewatching. Yeah. Rewatching dramas usually actually not favorites, but they're just very audio play like. Therefore you turn it on and then you do other things. That's like the type of rewatching drama. If you have to stare at the screen to rewatch. Okay, so for me, if it's the type of drama you rewatch but you stare at the screen when you rewatch, that would be the type of drama where it really just has people that I like looking at, like good-looking guys, okay, to me. And that would be the only reason for me to rewatch while I actually rewatch. If it's the type of rewatch where you really play it because you want some noise while you are doing other things like cooking and house cleaning, then it would be the type that just by listening to it, you get all the drama. You don't have to look at it, you already get the drama. So that would be 甄嬛传 type of drama, or Nirvana in Fire. So those are the two types of dramas that I would rewatch. One is just for the eyes, because I don't know, during whatever time when my hormone needs it. The other would just be for the ears. So there are two different types of rewatching dramas. Mr. Bad, yeah, I finished it. It's not bad. It's actually really nicely, and the actors are doing a good job. It's the contemporary romantic, light-hearted tone drama. I've finished watching it. It's fine. And for both actors or all the actors, I have no problem with it. It's better than a lot of other contemporary romantic dramas. At least like in that drama, their second couple is not annoying. Like you actually care about what happens. And then they complement the main couple well. So it's the type that works when you have a second couple, Mr. Bad. But overall, it's just a very, not gonna leave a strong impression on me drama because it's overall too happy. It's overall too light. There's no pain, hardly any torture and pain really in that drama. So in a sense that it makes the watching very easy, but then once you've finished watching, it just goes back, like it melts into your consciousness and you don't remember and don't care about it anymore. So Mr. Bad is the type of drama that have fun watching it and then leave it in your memory type of thing. You don't quite need to revisit that again. But you have a good time watching it. And I like the fact that the fairy is a guy. It's not a girl. It's like, fairy, pray to the fairy. And fairy is like a guy. And he's Wang Zijian, who is a very well-known comedian. So I like the fact it's that. It's too much sugar for me, Mr. Bad. Mr. Bad, and the middle part, when there are a couple of episodes when it's really just about the guy trying to figure out like whether what he's feeling for her is actually like the whole part of him getting jealous but not quite sure about what he's feeling, or he doesn't quite understand romantic, like he doesn't understand his own feelings, and he has all those things he did in those couple of episodes. It's just too draggy, and it just repeats, constantly repeats that it got boring for me. And it's like, I've seen all that in all kinds of other dramas, move on. So that's Mr. Bad. For Chen Zheyuan as an actor of this type of drama, I still think Dear Ancestor is far better as a story. Because Dear Ancestor, it has the sugar part, but it really has the not sugar, the glass, broken glass part, and it balances it really well. It's half-half. And that drama is half super sweet, half like epic broken glass. So that's why I still remember it till today of that drama. And even like the second couple of that drama is so sad that I still remember it. Whereas this drama is too good. Everything is too happy. It's too happy. Therefore, yeah. It's just me. Okay. I need both. I cannot deal with pure torture, such as Royal Nirvana. That's why I still haven't finished watching the whole thing. I know a couple of episodes, beginning, middle, end, but I didn't watch the whole thing because it's pure torture all the way through. Like, where is the sugar part of that drama? Doesn't have any. It's all torture. Can't do that. Also, I cannot do all sugar. All sugar is also unbearable. I have to have sugar and torture. Better like half-half or like close to that ratio. And then it's okay. I've realized that. Yeah, so the Tang Chao, the Tang Dynasty detective drama, I've heard a lot of good things. So if you want to watch it as a detective drama, probably it's good bet. You wouldn't be disappointed if you want to watch it. Like it's like the Imperial Coroner, but having more money and probably even better storytelling. But then, yeah. I mean, as an audience, you can definitely go and watch it and have fun with it. It's just for me, I don't have time. And then I know even if I watch it and have a lot of... The thing is, if I watch it and I really like it, it will be even more painful for me to not talk about it, you know. But I'd rather not talk about it because of certain reasons. So it would be just, you know, either way. If I don't like it, I'll be wasting my time. If I liked it, I'll be wasting my time, you know. So I'm like, okay, might as well just not watch it. Few minutes of Mr. Bad. Mr. Bad's beginning isn't that good. I think around episode 4 or 5, some really funny things happened. Like unexpected, weird, happy moment. It's like you didn't expect the comedy would be coming from that part, but when it did happen, you're like, oh my god, that's so socially embarrassing. An epic fail, but quite funny. Hidden Loves. Hidden Love, I haven't read the original. Isn't that the Chen Zheyuan and Zhao Lusi one? They're filming right now. And it's being leaked like crazy on the internet by paparazzi every week. I see new photos of people, of the two leads on set shooting Hidden Love. Every week I see new photos. They're being followed like crazy. Looks so dark, yeah, because it's snowing and it's windy. Love October. And also the leaves on my tree. Like if you look at my last week's video, it's all there. Now it's all gone. It literally got blown off, like all the leaves one night. Because it's like temperature drop. Focus on me. Come on, camera. What are you doing? It's autofocus. And it should be focusing on me. Come on, stop. Unbelievable. Camera, what are you doing? Come on, autofocus. Bring it, oh, me. Love Panasonic. It's already updated firmware and it still just doesn't know where to look at. Come on. Unbelievable. Anyway, now it's in focus, thankfully. Yeah, autumn where I am is like for 5 days. And it goes from summer to winter, 5 days. Bye. Oh, I just remembered. Because I think I adjusted my camera for one thing the other day. Maybe that's why it's not focusing on me. Yeah, don't worry. I'll figure it out. Panasonic. Anybody who's using Panasonic would know the pain of autofocus. Sony is so good at autofocus that you don't even need to tell it where to focus. It will just find it itself and seamlessly make it happen. Whereas Panasonic is like a toad. in my Chongqing dialect, there's this thing, this is idiom about you being a toad. 来一个把我逗一下跳一下. Just you're a toad and it only jumps when you poke it. It's like poke it once, jump once. Poke it once, jump once. So it's very, very accurate description. You're in Minnesota, you get 2 weeks. Yeah, here fall is almost overnight and always it's within 1 week from no leaves to all the leaves are out and big. And then also is from all green leaves to yellow to completely gone in 1 week. So it takes 1 week here to change the leaves, which is insane. How do you translate that to Mandarin? What do you mean? The toad thing? Well, it would be 癞蛤蟆戳一下跳一下, which would also work, but it doesn't sound like rhyming like my dialect. Because it's the ah rhyme in my dialect. And it's the same in Mandarin, but because I think in the tone, therefore it sounds better in my own like dialect. Zhang Han first loving his drama. Yeah. That actress is Yang Yutong. I think I've seen her in other things like a variety show, like acting competition show where Ding Yuxi was also in it. I don't know how many people have watched it. A couple of years ago on iQIYI there was a variety show that is acting competition type of, and she was in it. And I'm a bit laggy right now, which is unusual for this upload speed. Let's see. She's in that. And really, she doesn't really look like Zheng Shuang. I think in the drama, they styled her to look more like Zheng Shuang. But the actress, like, if you look at her just on her own, or in other dramas, or just photos, you would never connect her to Zheng Shuang. She really doesn't appear to look like her at all. She's very pretty, very, very pretty. But you have to style her in her way, and she looks really good. Is Tencent video not make profit? All the platforms are not making profit technically, apart from Mango. Okay, still the case. It's just, for example, iQIYI this year they're doing better than previous year. They're getting less of a, they're getting more basically. Profit is going up for iQIYI, but it still hasn't gotten to the point where you get more money than you spend. Only Mango is actually in the positive. Everybody else is in negative. Sad. Well, let's see if I can find a photo of that actress when she's like in the type of look that fits her. She really doesn't look like Zheng Shuang. I don't know why people. Yeah, I didn't even know she's in the drama until like I see it. Oh, she's Zhao Lin'er. I forgot. She's Zhao Lin'er in the new Chinese Paladin. Yeah, that's why. How's the film industry in China doing? Well, not doing very well, but you can also say previous couple of years when it's doing super well, it's kind of like foam and bubbles and not really that much good stuff. It's more like the type of inflated stuff. So now it's just going back to where it deserves or where it fits it. You can say that too. So not doing very well. I mean, in terms of like really interesting work, it's definitely not doing as well as, let's say, South Korea in the recent years. We all know that. It's pretty direct and easy to see. Yeah. But then the South Korean movies also have certain problems. It's almost the type of, you can be as sharp and as brave and as at all that criticizing the problems of the society angle of a lot of very good South Korean dramas, films. But then on the other hand, it almost feels like that's the only place you can do it. It's like you can keep making those type of movies a million times and nothing's gonna change. So that's the odd contrast of that. But then still, just in terms of films, there are so many very good South Korean movies. Have to admit that. Okay, from script level to production, it's just Joy of Life season 2. I don't know. First, let's wait for the Youngblood 2 to finish. Okay. And when that's done, let's see if the writer has time to deal with Joy of Life. Zhang Ruoyun has the curse of where is my second season. He's been in so many dramas that has been said is gonna have the next season and it just doesn't happen. Ever finish Ugly Beauty? I did. Yeah, I did. I actually liked that drama. I know a lot of people didn't watch it and didn't like it, but I actually liked it. I know the actors, like particularly the male actor, is not that good, but somehow oddly, I don't dislike him. But I have to admit, in the department of acting, he's definitely not the talented bunch. BL drama? I don't know. Nobody knows. It may disappear forever. It may come back one day. Who knows? You never know these things. Never know. Yeah, 2022 has already had too many things happening in real world where just like nothing makes sense, but it happens. And then when it happens, you're like, shit, that really happened. Yeah, it did happen. Well, moving on. Think about like politics, particularly in the whole world, like the couple of big things that has happened and it's still going on. Like it just makes you every day look at the news. It's like, why did I come to this planet? Why did I pick to incarnate at this time? Why? Why am I here to see all this happening? Oh my god. So, like those things, in comparison, Dramaland news is like irrelevant in importance. Really, French cinemas. I'm not such an expert in French cinema, but honestly, all European stuff are in decline, not just in film. That's a very sad thing, but it's true. Mm-hmm. So all the lump sum European economy, culture, influence, everything is just going downhill rapidly. And once you get into the politics talks, oh god, your channel gets shut down. So we're not going to go there. But so many European countries right now are in deep problem and shit. So I hope this is not too cold a winter, otherwise it's just not gonna look pretty. Yeah, Zheng Hehui is underrated. I know. I actually really like her. She's just too small. Like her face, her body, everything. It's like she's so petite. I haven't seen anybody who has a smaller face than she has. She literally has the smallest probably human face on camera. Yeah. Well, Me Too, or the whole sort of whatever life matters and whatever. Like there's so many things people putting their energy into these things, shouting slogans. It doesn't do anything to the reality. But then on the other hand, it's like also it just goes into culture in everything, which is very annoying. It's like, so now every movie, whatever it is you make, you have to actually look at the cast and say, wait, let's make sure the skin color actually proportions well. So we have that color, this, we include all human colors and it has to happen, does not matter whether it actually fits the time, history, what particular story we're talking about. Just disregard history and reality and facts completely, and let's just squeeze in the right number of skin color, and then we can sit on the moral high ground, or we can just be safe because nobody's gonna boycott us on social media. Funny. It's just ridiculous and funny. Yeah, well, that's how in the West it's like the general idea of West, at least that's how things should be working nowadays. So, Brave New World. Where to read Chinese drama novels. If you want to know that, ask for help. See if the people in chat will be able to help you. I have no idea, because I don't read Chinese drama novels, because those are 99.9% web novels and they're filled with unbearable grammatical mistakes that I can't bear looking at. So I don't read them. You have to find like the translated version that actually makes sense. Correct all the mistakes. Oh, just so you know that the 3 body problem. Oh, I have a. You know what this is. So that's the that's the reminder of me doing the first giveaway. Did somebody? I think somebody sent me a message on Discord about Foxfallen. I did watch a couple of episodes. I know what the fighting looks like on it in the drama, and I don't like it. I don't consider it to be very good choreography for fighting dramas, but that's compared to certain styles that people no longer do because they really just can't do it anymore. Okay, so I didn't not watch it for that reason, but overall, just that drama didn't interest me. I watched a couple of episodes and it felt so boring, and I quit. That's it. What else? Oh yeah, the giveaway. Okay, we have to do a giveaway. Good that I have an alarm clock. Western fans were growing for Chinese dramas. Well, it's more popular than before, but it's just not nearly as, like, say, consequential in any way. Right, for now. That's the truth. Still, South Korean dramas are much more, because of K-pop and everything. And also, they're nationally, that's one of the most important things they export from South Korea is all the cultural related things, which is totally different from China. Like for China, it's not even like on the list. So, so let's do a first round of giveaway. I'll randomly pick somebody from the chat while I'm not looking, and then you can email me at my hello@avenuex.ca, okay, and tell me for the $50 gift card what you want. Amazon, other things that can be bought, basically. Whatever it is, really. As long as it's possible for me to do, okay. Usually it is. Just in case it's some very remote things that doesn't accept my credit cards, then we shall see. Okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm not gonna look at it. I'm just doing it on my trackpad and then randomly my peripheral version, just trying to look at vision, trying to stop at that area and see who I'm pointing at. Lucky you. Yay. So if you're still here, I cannot pronounce your name because it's HNIN and then WUTYI. How am I supposed to pronounce that? That's so mind-boggling as a name. So you have a green or like green blue icon with an H. Email me. So that's the first one, and then I have a clock set up for the next one. So Mr. or Miss. Oh yes, that's you. Okay, so email me at hello. You will get the email if you just check my channel. Okay, it's there. Okay, for Halloween. Netflix and Chinese one. Yes, the three body problem. Oh, I forgot to keep talking about that. So for three body problem, if you've read the original Chinese version and then you read the Ken Liu translated English version, honestly, Liu Cixin should thank the translator so much for his work getting accepted in the West. Because Liu Cixin is a middle-aged Chinese man, okay. I wouldn't blame him, but basically in the rhetoric and in everything he's ever experienced in his lifetime, the deeply imbued into the language misogyny is very obvious in certain languages. The way he describes things and talk about some irrelevant details, for example, describing the look of a woman or something, on that level. He has very, like, if you look at those words, you're like, if you translate that word by word, you know, like literally into English, it's gonna offend so many very sensitive, politically correct Westerners. And it's definitely gonna People are just gonna boycott your novel just because you said that. So in the process of translating, the translator completely erased that and made it into a very normal and standard Western language that takes out all that the male gaze on female. And if you compare those two, like you're gonna start laughing. You're like, well, Liu Cixin, you owe him big time. And so, you know, so the argument, like when you think about that, is should those things, the more or less of a like about the actual main idea of the novel, but in the language itself, these things, should that be, you know, like what is the percentage or proportion that you should take into consideration of how you feel about the author or the work? Is the main concept and idea, the big universe level, quite crazy things, more important than the limited by, let's say, his time and education and background expression, right? Specific expression of things, like which should be more important, or can you completely disregard one side and just look at, you know? So it's very interesting to look at that. But honestly, if it wasn't for the translator to clean it up, it's gonna be a different story. Isn't that fun? Need to know. Yeah, like for all Chinese readers, we're like, yeah, we can see that, but it's so typical. It's like so of a middle-aged man talking about women, so that you just like, yeah, well, my uncle is like that. My father is like that, you know, like this person, that person in my life, I know they're like that. And they probably don't mean anything really bad. It's just, they don't even think about it when they say it. That's how these things are, right? But yeah, the translator is super high alert person. It's like, that's problematic. Take it out. That's problematic. Take it. So the translator is a really updated person with current language and acceptable standards of things of 2020s. Well, not so long ago, people like, not so long ago, it's like 100 years ago, so not so long ago, it was still like believed in a lot of countries that like periods are evil. And it's actually a disease for women to have it, which is like, really? If they don't have it, you're not gonna have children, okay? So it's one thing. It's like the same thing. If you don't have this side, you wouldn't have the other side. You wouldn't be able to get pregnant. But hey, does not matter. For a lot of cultures, within 100 years, people were like still, it's evil. So you actually, every human being breathing actually exists because periods exist. Otherwise, you would not exist. Your physical body would not even be born. So. But yeah. So like we are very we're not so far from the dark ages of like her skin was like a cup of coffee that was mostly milk because she was oh heavens, where does that come from? Yeah, I think periods in certain cultures, also like in certain places, it's like if you have it, you cannot go into temples. I'm like, do you know like all the monks were actually born by real human mothers? Like they didn't come out of a stone. Cool. Like if the whatever like gods or like saints that you or sage you pray to is like actually cares about periods the way you think they do, None of you would be qualified to enter anyway, because you came out of the same place. I mean, if you got out with C-section, then it's not the same place, but then you entered from the same place. Anyway, it's just funny, right? When you think about the facts and then, like, people cannot think straight. Yeah. You know, it's like human evolution is just so, it's like human body, all right? The DNA of things, it's just so not advanced. Like the coolest version, I think, like I would like to have, and certain animals on planet Earth naturally have, they are usually the very not evolved small animals in the ocean. So they basically are gender neutral until they mate. And when they mate, they fight against each other. Whoever pokes the other one first becomes the male. And the other one would just have to carry children until they give birth. And the next round, they come across and they fight again. If this time this wins, this becomes the male and the other one becomes female. And I'm like, wow, that is so cool. That would be so much more ideal. That destroys all the gender talks. If we can be that, if humans can have that kind of DNA and that kind of function, that would be just sexier than anything you can imagine. So everybody is gender neutral until they mate. And they literally fight. See who is stronger. And then the other one who loses, well, you have to carry the children until they get born. You lose. Next time, try harder. Oh my god, that's so cool. Like that kind of world would be an exciting world I want to see. I think it's a type of like in the ocean, very, very small, like jellyfish like type of animals that they just like they poke at each other and see who wins first. So they're both of them like, so they don't have gender, honestly. They just just sees who can impregnate the other one first. Oh, that would be so cool. It's just like, you know, imagine that. Anyway, it's just a thought. Cause if you don't have gender, right, it's a little bit boring, I would say. But then, if we can take all the bad things out of that and only keep the good things. Are you allowed to not want? So you can run away probably. I'd say, but like, you know, like animals like have the natural drive to recreate. It's like the whole thing that you cannot control. It's like in your DNA. Otherwise, you go extinct, right? So at a season, you know, like usually animals have mating seasons, right? When it happens, it just happens. Oh, look over. Yeah. Alpha. Oh my god. All that. Yes. Humans don't have that, you know. The humans are constantly in, whereas animals have seasons. Anyway, we're suddenly get to that point, which is weird. We're talking about Chinese dramas and suddenly it's Omegaverse. Huh. Well, in fanfiction world, anything can happen. You can impregnate a man, you can do anything, you know, really there's no limit. Or you can give birth to like 100 baby at once. Have you read those novels from Chinese web Noveland? That's insanity. It's like a person can give birth to 100 babies at once, and in her lifetime she gives birth to like 10,000 or something. Like that type of novel actually gets written and read. Are you a fish? Yeah, it's like laying eggs. Yeah, 鹤唳华亭. Are there any other series that are similar? Similar to 鹤唳华亭really isn't one. 鹤唳华亭 is very, very unusual at that quality. If you're only looking at costume, it's the only one who's ever managed to go that far with, let's say, being very close to the spirit of certain Hanfu style in history. Whereas all the other dramas never really got to that point. They really understood the aesthetics closest to, let's say, history, certain periods. Other dramas just don't have that. Oh, the 100 Babies, don't worry. Like, her husband is CEO. So her husband has all the money in the world. They can raise the whole world, like, no problem. He can adopt literally all 7 billion human beings. Web novels are, yeah, insane. Chinese web novels, there's just so many funny things people write that does not make sense. Yeah. From next year, I think my website hosting Squarespace will be able to actually allow you to do your brand merchandise, and then they would take care of, I think it's a form of like you pay for money, you set a price, and they deal with shipping. Which is like, really? Because I got the news today from Squarespace and telling you that they have the new things, features next year coming. One of that is, so it's like taking Redbubble into itself type of thing. It's like you put your merchandise and they deal with shipping, which is like, really? If that's the case, that'll be cool. Because right now there are a couple of other platforms that can do this for you, but it's so much trouble trying to figure out all the details. And you know, I'm in a place where shipping is just the worst possible for e-commerce on planet Earth, where you have high-speed internet but you don't have proper shipping. This is the worst place. Yeah, so they would basically, I think it's just they partner with those platforms and then do it so that you don't have, because I know people are doing it on their own, so they connect a platform to their Squarespace shop and allowing that process to happen, but it's just like really messy and really complicated. So if Squarespace does it itself, it'll probably make it easier. What would you want from me though? Apart from the stuff I do, like the drama stuff, I don't know, a mug that says live long and happy drama watching. You know, like a live long and happy drama watching can literally mean just watching dramas, but then it could also mean just stay alive as long as possible so that you can eat all the melons or drink all the tea, which is nice because gossip is human nature, and without the need to gossip, we would not exist. I think one of the anthropology kind of studies actually proves that, right? Like humans can develop to this stage of civilization is because we like gossiping. All that talk actually created communities, and therefore grouping more people together than other animals, and therefore you start to take control of the planet. Thanks to gossip. The whole ancient village and what happens around the well where everybody go take water. That whole thing. Huge fat hot chocolate mug. Oh, like one mug, your whole 4 days calorie is in it. Our Times, I haven't watched it yet. Is that the girls one? Zhang Huiwen is dancing in that one, finally. Dog food, melons, and tea. I hope there isn't drama like The Untamed again. Unlikely. Unlikely. Everything has its time, right? It's not just the time is. I'm thinking about things that's too philosophical. Yeah, Chinese dramas and English titles, it's just all a hot mess. Honestly, it's just a very messy thing. Most of the time, it just does not make sense or things repeat, and it's lazy and just reading Clara's long paragraph. I don't know. Maybe guys really do like it, or maybe he's just having fun with the interviewer. Also, just most of the time, the acting circle or the stars, they don't really exist in the same way. As long as they've made to a certain point of their career or fame or whatever, usually they don't exist in the same world as most of our common folks, okay, live in. So there definitely is like always that gap of perception of things that, and then they get influenced by everybody else in the circle. It's almost impossible to not get influenced if you're in the game and you want to make money and you live there, so you have to, in a way, accept that. And if you actually realize some things and you're not liking it, and then you try to not be a part of that, then first is you make your own life very difficult psychologically and actually in business. And then, like, how far do you go? Also, is like how resourceful or how, like, what position you have. If you're already on the top, then you have a lot of say, and then because everybody is looking up to you, so you have if you don't want to follow the standard of things, and people are like, yeah, he or she is special. They're already there, so therefore they make the rules. But most of the people cannot. Why? Don't be shocked. Like, see, Zhang Han can actually make a drama that he said he's been working on it for a freaking decade, and he think it's a masterpiece, and he put it out, and then it happened like this. You get the entire internet of China laughing at it to the point that it gets pulled down. But then rumor has it is his team is looking at this as he got too successful and too good that people hated him. So they're the entities who are out to destroy him. Because of his work is too good, they targeted him and took it down. Yeah. So, I don't know which is sadder, is they actually know what is going on, but they just pretend they don't see it. They voluntarily ignore facts, or they actually believe they are the victims and what they do is great, and people just do not know how to appreciate that. I don't know which one is sadder. Yeah, I think both are pretty pathetic, but So if that kind of drama can actually get made by a group of people, because it cannot be one person, it has to be a group. So the whole team, right? And think about the editor who has to sit in front of the camera and watching all the dailies. Unbelievable, from all camera angles of that thing for a month. Like, if I have to do that, right, I would come out like, and then straight go into a mental hospital. So like, if there are people out there like who can actually do that for real, and they actually think what they're doing is proper work. So diversity of human race, that's all I can say. Hate the editor? I don't hate the editor of Romantic, like The Forest. I think it's because it's been filmed and made like that, like the script level, or they just probably like saying we have to add that much, right? And then cut it between the two couples constantly. Very short, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, 2 minutes, keep cutting between the two couples. I don't think, editor can make that choice. Honestly, in China, editors are only tools. They are the hand on a mouse making the cut, but they don't have brains most of the time. It's the director, producer, or whatever investor or the company making it decides we want to do it that way. So they just cut it like that. Yeah. It could be better, but just because it has that much of a second lead couple story in it, however you cut it, whether you cut it in a huge chunk or a smaller chunk, it's just gonna be as annoying. Yeah, romance Forest can completely cut out the second line. It's not gonna do anything, just completely cut it out. So like, I guess you can filter it out. I think I'm not sure on Youku if you have that. You have the 看他 off function where you click it open and it's only watching him, only watching her, only watching him and her. Like, it has those options, and if you turn that on, you're only gonna see the snippets that has the leads and not the other people. But I'm not sure if that drama has that. Certain dramas have it, certain dramas don't. Was in affiliation with you, cool. Yeah, it's normal. Assigned to the company, because the second male lead is in another drama not so long ago. That was pretty terrible. So. BBC Sherlock Holmes level. Wow, is there any drama that has Sherlock Holmes BBC style or even quality? Overall, not really. It's the only one. A very unique one. Still, the earlier seasons are better. Okay. The later one got a bit weird. Particularly the sister part is like, yeah, you want to do the psychoanalysis thing, but then it's weird. Also, they play violin in ways that's so cringy that too sad. Cannot even bear looking at. Benedict Cumberbatch and the sister playing the violin. Yeah, season four is weird. It's like the whole psychology and genius and weird things of like brainwash yourself. Like it went to the loony land of things. It's a little bit out of control. And then they like the plot, like killing Mary off is, come on, are you a South Korean or Asian drama? It's so, when that happened, I'm like, did you get like infected by Asian Dramaland with its like bugs and virus? What happened to BBC and British people? So Sherlock, the fourth season was just like, I still remember the shock. But still overall, like the type of drama and then the style of it, right? It started was quite new and unusual. Russian drama, good professor. Russian dramas always have super good looking people, if not anything else. Whether it's women or men, it's like, oh, everybody's so good looking, heavens. Like, how can you be that pretty? Robert Downey Jr. I have. Who doesn't know that? I know that. I know that IP. I'm still looking forward to their future. Like if they make another one, which is just, who knows if it's ever gonna happen. It's gonna be elderly Sherlock Holmes and elderly Watson. Musical drama. Musical is just not a native thing, right, in China. So the whole, even like in theaters, musicals are, well, in recent years it was getting better, but still not in any way major. It just doesn't have, let's say, the ground and the soil. It's not a part of popular culture. There are musical fans in China, but it's a very small circle. It hasn't gotten to the point where it's very widely, like you get the targeted demographics, a big number, so that you can actually make a buck on it. Just naturally not anywhere close to the scale of things. It's still very 小众. That's the fact, compared to the proportionally speaking to the huge population. Beijing opera is not either. Beijing opera is also, it has an even smaller circle, I'd say. Because for Beijing opera, it really needs years and years of cultivation in it to actually understand what you're looking at. You know, you go and look at a famous singer's performance. Why is this person doing it better than other people? Or why do you prefer it? Or what is this person doing that is different from others? And it goes to super detailed, like one playing of that tone, of that singing, of that word, or just one particular way they do it, or it's too complicated. If you are if you're not educated in it for a long time, you have no idea what you're looking at. So the basically the cost of getting into it is too high. Beijing opera, I wouldn't even attempt to do that myself, trying to become a 票友. It's so much stuff, unbelievably taking your hard drive and RAM level. Well, in the West, at least you have like a longer tradition, and you still have Broadways and West End. In China, there's no equivalent in any way. Yeah, these things, you know, it's the same thing why TikTok is so intoxicating and then takes over so much and then tries to affect every other platform, which is, now YouTube has shorts, Instagram is just looking increasingly boring and with all the things that you don't subscribe to, and short videos, because the fact is, the bigger demographics you go, you know, the things have to be simpler and easier to So like Beijing Opera musical, it's just too complicated for people to get into if you never got it before. You know, you need somebody to actually really spend time and energy teaching you about certain things to actually, oh, okay, now I can appreciate that. And probably it also goes with time. As you get older, you may start to appreciate this type of stuff more than when you were younger, and I can see that. Yeah. So, where are we? We're talking about stuff that's not related to genres, but anyway, my monthly live streams are always just chat, right? I provide little value apart from being a talking voice. Accompany your day, afternoon, evening, or before you go to bed. Zhang Bing voice. Zhang Bingbing, do you mean Zhang Bingbing, not Zhang Bing? And it's so bashy, because yeah, he has two Bings in his name, not one. Really? Shit. It's still snowing. Holy crap. Zhang Bingming's voice is pretty nice. He has the very sort of like generally accepted deeper male voice. And he can sing, yeah. He can sing pretty well, which is a very good thing. You know, like Wang Hedi and Gong Jun cannot do that. When they see, or even Zhang Linghe, right? So when they sing, the world crashes. Love crossed? No, I haven't. Mating habits. I'm ready to drop the face live stream ever. Really? Oh, I can definitely do more than that. At least it's related to gender. Next time we can talk about quantum mechanics. Nobel Prize. Romeo and Juliet, yeah, that's the, well, and Notre Dame. I think those were the two ones that I know of the French musicals. I like the original cast of the Romeo and Juliet. They're so adorable. Like a super tall, skinny guy and a chubby, cute girl. And her voice. I know later the performances, I think it's the guy's real girlfriend. They changed Juliet to another singer, who's actually his girlfriend. But I prefer the original version. I prefer the voice quality of the original Juliet. These two, like the original Romeo and Juliet, their voices go together so well. Ah. And they're both so adorable. I still have the video on my hard drive of it's the 2010. Is it 2010 or 20? I can't remember which year it is. No. Anyway, the best recorded version of Romeo and Juliet. Where at the end, the producer or the writer came on stage and they were all singing together the couple of songs. Like they sang more than one encore songs. I can't remember which one. Anyway, I have that video on my hard drive. There was a time in my life I actually remembered most of the lyrics of the French Romeo and Juliet. But I no longer do. I no longer remember all that. But there was a time, like all the important songs in that musical. There was a time that I remember all of it because I've listened to it too many times. Even though sometimes I don't even know what it is, you know, like if I don't look at it, I can't even remember what that word means. I just remember the whole thing. And I have to say, that version of Romeo and Juliet, their stage design is so good. A costume, and it's very, you know, it's definitely not something that Broadway people or West End people would do. It's like only the French people would do it that way. The red and the blue, and then the costume style. And anyway, yeah, it was good. Yeah, the 2000s. Yeah, I can't remember which year it is. I'm like vaguely remembers this really long time ago. And that recorded version, that stage has a net. I remember when you have the camera going very close from an angle, shooting the stage at certain shots, you can see the net. I think they're just trying to prevent people from throwing things onto the stage. Wow. I see somebody were typing with a mixture of English and Chinese. Hi. Oh, thank you. 你家队友. Who's your teammate? 你家队友. 有雨. Well, yeah. Very dark. It's snowing. Well, you have rain, I have snow. Anyway, if anybody cares about that, yeah, the French Romeo and Juliet is really good musical. Although I have to say, like the mothers on both sides, they're like such good singers. That song, like the hate, that one when they were singing, oh, the two mothers, so good. Upcoming dramas, Wang Hedi will have the period dramas and then the contemporary one that he's about to start filming. November. He needs to sort out his lines. Once he did that, he would be he would have so many more choices. Because if he ever needs to be considered for certain serious roles on big screen, he would have to do it himself. Because for on big screen, if any film wants to submit for awards, one of the requirements is you have to have all the actors using their own voice. Otherwise, for certain awards, you cannot get it because of that. So, as an actor, he needs to get that sort Otherwise, he gets very limited with the things he gets offered. Right? Weird talking voice. I mean, his natural, let's say his tone, like the vocal quality is not problematic. And the Mandarin can be worked on. He needs to sort out the particular, let's say, habit of speaking that's very Sichuan. And then if you are from, like me, from that region, it's easy for you to pick it up. It's not even in the pronunciation of each character, the right tone and the right Mandarin sound. It's the overall flow. Like if you have a long sentence or a paragraph, the whole, like if it drops, if it goes up at certain places, Sichuan dialect has a particular flow of a longer sentence. If you cannot take that out, it's always gonna sound weird. Even like the actors who's worked for a long time, like Chen Kun or Luo Yunxi, right? One is from Chongqing, the other is from Sichuan province. They still have it when they have long paragraphs. When they just speak like very short couple of characters, fine. But if they do long paragraphs, monologue, talk, you start to hear that flow of a longer part where the tones goes, like that whole wave thing. Also where they pronounce it. They still tend to pronounce it the Sichuan dialect way, where it's low and behind. And Mandarin is much more higher and front. If you cannot change that, it's always gonna sound a bit weird. But then, okay, most people probably don't care about that. But then if you go and try to apply for a job at the highest standard play theater, you know, they're gonna test you on that and they're gonna say, that's not working, you need to get it cleaned up. So depending on how strict you are about these standards of things. Yeah, Zhang Linghe. Yeah, he needs improvement too. And most of the young actors need that. Most of them these days. Because it's very unusual for, if you never worked in this, that you get a training from when you were young to speak proper Mandarin very well. Even though most of the schools now teach in Mandarin, the teacher may not be that good at Mandarin anyway, to start with. Joshua, thank you for your super chat. Marvelous Women. I think I've talked about that last year, right? And I said, because I did watch a couple of episodes, not the whole thing, but because of that drama, it literally doesn't allow anybody to use its content, and it actually puts it out at the end of the drama. It's like, we do not allow you to use it. Well, fine, I'm not gonna talk about it. I think that's the drama you're talking about. Yeah, Yu Zheng is weird. Anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah, in terms of cultural content, right, it really is like overall in the 90s, early 2000s in the world, you have a higher quality of stuff. Everywhere you look at film, television, music. Now it's all like, even honestly, like when you look at billboards in the West, like all the songs, it's like, what the heck am I listening to? Everything sounds like the same. And they're so noisy and there's nothing going on. Like, the music is just bad these days. So Mandarin, line delivery, all that, and it's very rare for basically anybody who can have that, lucky enough to have that education at young age to speak it very well, so that they don't have to put too much effort when they're older to learn it. It's always harder to learn language, any type, right? For any purpose when you're older. Wang Xingyue, is he doing that all himself? Like for all the dramas he's in? I haven't watched that many dramas with him, but I know who Wang Xingyue is. If he's doing that all by himself, it sounds okay. I don't see a big problem. At least when I was watching those dramas, I never noticed that there's a problem. But then I haven't watched a lot of his stuff, so. Yeah, the market, the technology, the internet, the big companies, and all those conspiracies about controlling the mass population make everybody dumb so that nobody questions what you do. And everyone happily becomes the 韭菜 for the big capitals to. You know, the AI artist, AI drawing, painting programs these days are insanity. A thing just happened in South Korea during this week, which is huge and quite interesting, is one of the person who is an artist who was live streaming, drawing like in process, making like from the draft to all, it's all on camera, it's all live. And then one of the people watching the live stream took a screenshot of that in process drawing, dumped it into an AI program, and made the AI finish the work, and then publicized that painting as his own on Twitter 5 hours before the actual artist finished the painting. But because that person was live streaming the whole process of painting it, it became an evidence. And even though his finished work is a couple of hours later, it can still prove that the actual painter is the original author, not the AI version. And Twitter had this whole thing going on, and I saw the version like that got photo screenshot and then leaked on China's internet, social media. I'm like, oh wow, that is scary. And in a way, it's very ironic that this thing can happen in the first place is because you have AI who can do that painting. So somebody took a shot of it and finished it before the actual author. But also the thing that can prove the actual author is because he is live streaming. If not, right, then you cannot even prove that it's your work. So it happened because of the AI, but also it happened because it can prove that it's not, and also because of this. And it's just like insanity. The whole thing is insanity. And say if you unfortunately somewhere leaked like a draft drawing that hasn't finished, you're still working on. If you're not live streaming it as a video at the time, and then somebody took it and finished it with AI and put it out and say it's their work, and they published it for like first, right? Timestamp is earlier than you, then you cannot prove yourself that it's actually your work. Love the brave new world of technology that just went insane these days. And when you see that happening, you're like, oh my God, another way for technology to screw up people's lives. Well, some AI art are really good. Now, I think those AI art can be very useful in certain situations. For example, you are a concept artist, right? And then you need to think of a certain scenes for, let's say, a sci-fi movie of a place you've never seen and does not exist. And you type in keywords, you see a couple of renditions, and then you can think about that may not work, that may work. This can have potential if this gets changed or worked on this way. Or what you can do is you do your original work first without really looking at anything, and then you have a couple of ideas, you go and see AI, see if they can inspire you in certain directions you haven't thought about. I mean, in those ways, I think you can use AI, and it's fast. It's really fast it makes it more efficient for you to work, and you don't have to spend so much time just completely doing it on your own and then spend hours doing a draft painting and see it's just not working and doesn't quite see, or you want to quickly visualize something and see if it works or not. For those purposes, those AI arts program are pretty useful. But then, like anything beyond that, like people actually use it to sell art. Like they make AI create it and sell it, or they copyright it, and it's like, oh my God. That's just not, that's so awful. Yeah, so the whole brainstorming thing is really useful because say if you have to design a poster and you know the theme, but you don't quite know like how many different ways you can think of it. You're one human. There's a limited number. So you can make the AI think about like 100 different versions and you see which one has potential that you can, oh, I can modify and work on that and make it more interesting. I mean, that's just so much easier when you have AI to help you, you know. But then the other things that people do with it is like, obvious deep fake is a huge problem. And then the stealing of other people's art, or using other people's art that you haven't really got permission to train your particular AI. You know, there are people doing that. They take art from other people, huge numbers and bunches and huge quantity, and just feed the same AI. So make the AI actually recognize the style, and then they replicate that style and make it their own, which is just fuck. It's like an F word in your face. And certain times it's useful, like when you really need to Photoshop somebody out of a picture. As long as you're not doing it for the wrong purposes, right? It's very useful to make mock-ups. Like you have a photo, oh, that's ideal, but I don't want that person. Or you take a photo when you travel, and then there's an annoying stranger behind it, and like remove that person. Okay, I will be away for a bit and come back for the second giveaway. Okay. Hi, thank you for Allison, the mod team. Yes, you can head over to the link and get into the Discord server now. If you need to chat about dramas, or sometimes ask for help, like where can I find a novel? that would be a good place to go and ask. Hugh Grant. Hugh Grant, oh my god, the olden days when he was a little fresh meat days of Hugh Grant. Traditional mediums, yeah. Yeah, well, they're so much more expensive because they're one and only. For all the physical medium painting, right? Watercolor, oil painting, it's just one. There's only one, you cannot replicate that. Even the same artist will gonna do a different one. So they are, but then for that kind of art, the thing is they're too expensive. And even when you are not a very famous artist, it's still too expensive because it takes real hours to make it, and you can only make one of it. So if you sell it, it has to be super expensive. It takes in the account of all the time, and then the previous time you've used to learn the skills, plus all the canvas, the paints. Paints are so expensive, particularly in the West. And I think in China it's much cheaper. Because if it's as expensive, it would be totally not affordable for Chinese people. Still though, it's so expensive. When you look at good paints. I did learn oil for a bit, so I know the basics, but I never tried to do it where I am. It's because it's so expensive. I went to those paint stores and see the easels and canvas and all the paints and medium. I'm like, oh, seriously? Like that's that? Like, how am I supposed to do that? It's so expensive. And then you need a place in your place where it's not afraid of getting completely messed up. If you do oil, eventually that place is just gonna get messed up with all the dots and things on the wall, on the floor. It cannot avoid that. You need actually a big space that completely gets protected. Otherwise, mess. Do you use an Art Nouveau mock-up? No, I just do it myself, but I kind of look at reference. It's not really a very Art Nouveau style, okay? Art Nouveau is like, it has very peculiar ways, but sometimes I just don't like to do it. Like when I look at it, I'm gonna try to do it that same way. It doesn't quite work for me. It's so specific, that type of look. And it's very painful to do Art Nouveau because it's so detailed. It takes too much time, basically. Brush. Oh yeah, brush. Heavens. And calling drag a mob. Well, welcome to MoMA. You go to New York and go to MoMA. Wow, everything is like, I cannot understand anything about it, but it's expensive. Well, I think it's okay. Like if people like it, there's nothing to say it's wrong, right? And certain abstract paintings actually look really good. If you put it into the right space, like the right size of the wall and right color and right proportion with other things in the room, it looks good. But they have to be so specifically situated in a particular place. Otherwise, it's just not gonna, you know, if you put that kind of like super expensive abstract art painting in a garage, it's just not gonna look good, no matter what you do. The space around it is just as important as the painting itself. Oh, so in a way, actually, you just need to have a huge house. Like super rich, you have like, you have like a castle. And huge rooms and huge empty walls. And then you can make any art look great. Otherwise, don't even try. So you basically filthy, dirty, super rich, huge house. And then you can start to think about having cool art in your place. Yeah, some of the art is just like expensive because you need expensive space to put it there. Get a big house. Okay, let's do another one. See who can get the... Stop. Where is my cursor? Oh, Clara. Good thing that you talked a lot during this. So my cursor stopped on Clara. Tovholt? Sorry if I butchered your name. You have a very energetic face as your profile picture. So email me. Clara, email me at hello@opniax.ca and tell me like what kind of gift card you want. Doing art needs money. Yes, that's you. So email me. Yeah, huge house. And sometimes like I'm like, I want a huge house. But then I think, well, when you have a huge house, you have to think about so many more things. And it starts to feel very stressful. Okay, so like when you have a big house, like a thought experiment, a very big house, that means you're really rich. So you probably don't need to worry about getting it maintained. Say having people who take care of the lawn, backyard, cleaning. Okay, money can solve everything. But then you're probably at the point where you need security. Okay, so whenever it involves other people who come to your home for service, there's always a risk of psychos coming into your living circle. Even when you have security, you cannot 100% make sure they're not stalkers, okay, or they leak your personal secret and stuff. So, and if you want to take care of the house yourself, you're not going to be able to. Cleaning a small place is already very, very tasking. If you have a huge house, you start with this room. By the time you finish to the last room, the first room is already dirty. So like, when you think about that, right? So when you have a huge house and you're super rich, then you kind of start to live in a way that, I don't know. I know there are a lot of celebrities like that, right, in this world, whether it's singers or film stars or like internet celebrities and makeup YouTubers who have millions and tens of millions of followers. They live that kind of life, right? And I don't know, like if you really live that way, would you really be very happy? Or much more happier, say proportional speaking to like living just a normal average life? Like the kind of things you have to sacrifice to, because you always have to sacrifice something to live that kind of life, and in return you get the whatever things you consider is nice to have in life. Like, is that proportional to the sacrifice, all the trouble that's going to enter your life before you don't have to worry about? You know, when I think about these people's life, imagine it from a distance. Obviously I haven't lived that, so I can't tell, but I'm like, but then because you're that rich, then you have this problem that other not so rich people would never have. And then how do you deal with that? And then obviously when you're famous and rich, there's always the risk of other people just like, you don't know where they are. They're hiding from places. They're looking at you. And they're either trying to get something from you or whatever. It would be nice to actually be rich, but also nobody bothers you. And still have what you want. That's like, yeah, I want this and that as well. Anyway, thought experiment. Elon Musk. Yeah. I mean, if you have a big house, you need a lot of people living in there to make sense, to use the space. Otherwise, it's just gonna die. And a house unoccupied is not a good place to be. In Chinese feng shui, it's called 阴气太重. The yin energy will be too strong. Unless you as a person is so masculine, like the male, the yang energy of your person is so strong. Usually you don't have that kind of people in this world. Very rare, right? If you're just one person living in a huge house, you basically have to warm it up as one person. Your energy has to warm the whole thing up, and actually it's not good for your health. So if you have a huge house, you need basically, if you have an estate, a mansion, you know, like a big family living in it. And yeah, that's okay. If you don't have enough people, it causes problems. You know, the dark corners will be occupied by things that you cannot see. But they're gonna be there. They're gonna break your pipes and then make you feel awful. Back in the days when I was in Bristol, in England, a long time ago, that the building is University of Bristol's sort of student accommodation building, and it's famous for having a ghost running along its pipeline. Every year, somewhere along that building's pipe, something is gonna burst and totally drown the whole building, and people gonna get cleared out. And they have to go and fix it and then bring all the students back. When I was there, I encountered one thing. I was on the 6th floor and the pipe bursted on the 3rd one, and then basically completely drowned all the floors below it. And the whole building got cleared out, and I got located into a unbelievably remote hotel that the university would have buses every morning to pick the students up and drop them there, and at the evening when the class ends, then you go on the bus and you go back to the hotel. The university had to arrange that for a whole freaking week. And it's just such an adventure because the hotel I got located in is like 40 minutes drive or something from Bristol at least. And then next to it is a prison. And it's an old building. It's like a very old English building. And my room is huge. And it's a huge bed and huge. And it's an old country style, very old furnitures, and where the tap is still like the hot and cold doesn't mix. It's two different tap, that kind of. And then toilet, it's funny, the bathroom is bigger in the bedroom. The bathroom is bigger in the bedroom. It's a ginormous empty bathroom, and its toilet tank is like on top, and you have to like hold a string to pull and the water comes down. And then outside the window, it's just the English rolling land, you know, like the farmland, the grassland, the rows. At night, there's not even one light outside. It's full darkness. There's no street light, nothing. It's just wild rolling hills. So at night when you sit there in your empty hotel room, and the bounced off sound in the toilet is just like so empty. It's like a cathedral. And I lived there for a week before that accommodation building got fixed. And it was some of the weirdest experiences I've had in England. It's so perfect for ghost story, that hotel room. It's just made for it. And I don't even remember its name anymore. I have a couple of photos of it. Very blurry from the Nokia phones back then. Unbelievable. Anyway, so if anybody listening to this who happen to have like come from UK, or you've been to Bristol, or you are gonna go to Bristol University, I don't know. That building is called Chantry Court. Chatry. Okay, so if you apply for accommodation from the University of Bristol, that probably is on the list. I don't know if it's still, like, the university still has it. I guess it may still have it. If it's not, I don't know. But if it's there, it's that building. So if you don't want, every year it happens. Like, at least when I was there, I heard from previous students who have been there for a couple of years. They were saying every year, somewhere the pipe will have a problem and we have to get out. So, if you're applying for accommodation, try to avoid that building if you don't want to get dislocated during your term time. Yeah, I think it's called Chantry. Chary. Atry. Yeah. Very specific, okay? 有缘人 will hear it. Yeah, I've had a couple of very ghostly experiences when I was in England. Somehow, I don't know. Once I went to see a medium, yeah, a famous medium in England. You probably know her. Her name is Mia Dolan. Mia Dolan, yes, Mia Dolan. I went to see her show in Kent because it just happens to be in the theater where I went on a trip with two of my friends. So we went to see Kent Castle and then sort of southwest of England. On that trip, oh, so many weird things happened. And afterwards, also weird things happened. And it's definitely not normal, okay? I can 100% prove, and I have two alibis who are my friends. We've gone through this whole thing together, and we're like, okay, nothing is, like, this is not normal. Definitely something weird is going on. I'm thinking, because I went to that show, because that whole show is medium show, and it's all like calling ghosts and stuff. Like, I was just curious to see what it's like, right? And maybe there's like a weird energy going on there. So afterwards, a couple of really weird things happened. Till today, cannot explain that with scientific explanation. So I can only say that's because some old English ghost were playing around, having fun with us. Yeah. And go to sleep. Hi. Yeah. Go to sleep. And don't listen to ghost stories. And nothing dangerous or scary happened. It's just abnormal. And annoying, I would say. Abnormal and annoying, but not scary. Yeah. So probably old places, historical places, probably you come across more of this type of things. Yeah, I've had some really funny experiences in England. I have actually also been to Darren Brown's show, live show in London. Anybody his fans? He was in Sherlock. The season when they explained how he managed to not die. In one of the explanation, it's Darren Brown coming to hypnotize Watson. So that guy is very famous in England. So the UK people here, the British here, you probably know him. I've been to one of his live shows in London. And I think, because I bought a ticket online, I think I actually know how he can, like one of the things he did to make the show work. Because he would call audiences up onto the stage and then doing stuff seemingly like magic. If you know him, he is this mind reader type of magician who would say predict what you're gonna say, what you're gonna pick, or plant something in your head so that eventually you're gonna say it, but you think it's your own decision, but it's not, it's his planting. They use that in the end case of 猎罪图鉴 Under the Skin, March drama, Chinese drama this year, where they cracked the CEO of the tech company's case. They used the same process of implanting that idea into his head so that he would do the choice they want him to do at the end. That whole thing is Darren Brown stuff. Anyway, I went to see one of Darren Brown's shows for real. And if anybody cares about that, I think they actually make sure that his show can be successful by placing the audiences in the ways they want. Because while I was booking the ticket online, I realized they have to. First is they dictate you submit your name, otherwise it wouldn't go through. The second thing is you have no choice of your seats. They pick it for you. Isn't that interesting? So basically, they probably guess your ancestry and where you come from and whether certain things work on you or not, based on your name and your credit card information, because that has to be the same, and they would ask you for that information. And then you can only choose, I think, certain parts of the seats are of a price, and another parts are of a different price. So you can only pick which location roughly you can be in at that price, but you cannot pick the specific seat you want. They locate that for you. And it's like that system just wouldn't allow you to do anything else. You have to buy a ticket in that way. So I'm like, haha. So they probably would be placing the audiences they think that it definitely would work on in the places that eventually they're gonna get picked. Well, at least I tried it once, so I know it's like that. Isn't that interesting? So my name definitely is like, yeah, you see that name, you see that credit card, so this is not a British person. So the whole language trick thing may not work that well. Not gonna put that person in the place that's gonna get picked. That could totally be one of the reasons. Because I've never seen any other theaters and shows do that. For you to have to do this and not giving you freedom to pick. Why do you do it, right? So, it's just one random thing I just remembered. Yeah, probably is totally meaningless to any of my audiences watching this live stream. Crimson Peak. Ah, a French person. Yes, I love that. I made an edit. Is it on anywhere on YouTube? No, it's on my Bilibili. You can go and check. My Bilibili account, Avenue X. Scroll, 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 you'll see. There's one edit I made. It's really, really good. It's better than the trailer of that film. I guarantee you. The music is perfect. The timing is perfect. Even the subtitles, I made it into crimson color. I love that film. And I made an edit of it. So go and check it out. It's 2 minutes. It's really good. The production design of Crimson Peak is so good. Let me see which one. It's quite a long time ago, a couple of years ago. before the BL. It's 2018 April. That one. That one. Sorry, I cannot focus it, but that was before my education of Chinese fandom and the rush of BL stories into my Dramaland life. A couple of months before that. When I was still naive about the crazy internet age. Haha. Yeah, you see it. You can take a look at it. It's really good. Shamelessly telling you, it's a great edit that nobody has seen. It has a very low view number, I think. One of the lowest of all my videos. I don't know why. Yeah, it's only 1,400 views. Like, that's so low. My earlier days edits, even the worst ones gets like 4,000 at least. I mean, even Lucifer got 2,000. Unbelievable. Anyway, so it's the lowest view count edits I've ever had on my Bilibili somehow. I don't know whether I can do it in the chat. Somebody who's seen it can share it. Because on my end, because I'm on a software, it's not easy for me to type it in. Also because my computer and my phone, they don't link. It's a Mac, it's a Windows and an iPhone. I need a Mac to be able to do that. Instant copying. So ask our French person to link it. Yeah, the hairpin is in my shop, but as orange. But if I make pumpkin, it will be the same. It would just be a different type of, like the vines will curl, right? Like you have those like curly vines coming from pumpkins. Oranges don't have that. But in terms of the fruit itself, it will be done in the same way because of the structure of it, right? It cannot be anything else. It just, there's only one way of doing it in Ronghua. Focus. Yeah, so it does look like a pumpkin. It just lacks that little curly thing. Well, I'll put it on the side. Chinese weddings. So what? In 10 miles. Broke stick during their wedding. Broke a stick. Broke sticks. I don't think that's anything very common. Are they just vowing something like that? Usually at weddings you don't have that. At weddings, traditional Chinese, there are different dynasties have different ways of doing it. Like drinking, also bowing to each other definitely exists. Then depending on different dynasties, you have certain things of like holding the cup, like with your arms. So you're drinking that from a hulu, from a gourd, cut the gourd in half, that kind of wine. That thing exists. Also cutting hair. So each person cuts a strand, cut it off, and then tie it together. So you tie two persons' hair together and put it in a pouch or somewhere to keep it. So that means now you have the hair entangled. You're entangled together. So those couple of things definitely happen. Then for different times, probably, and different regions, you have different customs of doing it. Breaking sticks, I'm not sure from which time and what version. I mean, even the whole red thing. Now, not all dynasties actually have it in red. Most of the time, not really in red. And certain dramas will do it more accurately, like the Tang Dynasty one, like Luoyang. Some parts of it is accurate, some parts of it is not so. But overall, it looks quite, at least they've done some research about the process of going through what and holding the fan. The girl is in the more green and blue thing instead of red. So different periods would have it very differently. So depending on if it's completely fantasy or actually historical, and then particular time you're looking at, and then the people's, the bride and grooms, what kind of, like where they are in the society, the levels, how rich or how poor, or do they have like certain special whatever positions. Yeah, the cutting hair. Also, cutting hair for the Manchurins is a very big thing. So, in Ru Yi Zhuan, one thing is like I cut ties, but the other thing is for Manchurin people, they are not allowed to really cut that hair unless they have guosang, which means the emperor is dead. In mourning, you can cut it. So, and like when you do that, it's like a really bad thing. But overall, in Chinese traditional, whether you are, let's say, Han or Mandarin people, it's cutting hair is a big thing. You can't just do it randomly. There are a lot of rules about when and how and for what purpose you can cut your hair. Destiny, red tie originates. Well, in Chinese, 红线, red thread and lines always means the kind of romantic, destined ties between two people. So that's always in the language, at least like I can think of. In exactly when it started, we have to look at history. That's for the linguistic study people and anthropology and cultural study people. Thank you, Panko. Thank you for your super chat. #1 fan. It's a pear jumping up and down. How cute. Drink to prove sincerity. Yeah, it's a weird thing in culture. A lot of people really hate it. Young people today, particularly. The whole like if you don't drink, you don't actually want to be friends with me, which is just totally moral kidnapping. Blackmailing. Basically, it's blackmailing. And a lot of young people today, they do not buy this anymore. Whether it's like at family gathering with like your relatives, older uncle, aunts, and whatever, force you to drink, or whether you're on business dinner with your bosses and the other company people is trying to get you drunk and whatever. It was a time where you cannot refuse it. You have to drink a lot. It's a really sick culture. It's a power play. Basically, it's like embarrass yourself in front of me so that I trust you and I know you are in the game, which is very ugly. And these days, young people just don't buy it anymore most of the time. And they're gonna just like straight say it in your face. I'm not gonna drink, no matter what you say. You're my uncle, so what? You cannot force me. And you're my boss, so what? I can quit my job. I don't care about what you want. So these days in China, a lot of young people are much, much more direct. Also, like a lot of people are like, again, I'm breaking. It's a bit laggy. And then, yeah, young people are refusing it, which I think is a good thing. I totally support that. All dramas. Most of Chinese dramas are in Mandarin. I know, somehow. But my software is not saying my speed is wrong. It's just I'm breaking off weirdly. As I can see it. Come on. Just because I said you're Windows, not Mac, you're getting mad at me. Why? Oh, shit. Okay. Some weird things tries to open. I think that's why. Unbelievable. That's why I don't like Windows. Well, it's the same thing in all cultures. Think about Western like costumes. It's also a pain. So many layers. You even have like corsets and stuff. Also, you have layers of pants and underskirt, right? Layers and layers of it. It's the same thing. And it's just they probably have some ways to get around it. We just don't know, because these things don't get recorded. 东北插班生 Yeah, 东北插班生 has a lot of accent. It has the Dongbei accent, it has the Taiwan accent, it has the like even Thailand, like some certain people, or a character from Thailand. Yeah. So we're gonna probably like finish this live stream soon, around 12 midday where I am, so that everybody can go back to working or studying or sleeping. Yeah, and let's pray for not a crazy winter anywhere. North Hemisphere. Let's just pray for North Hemisphere. It's not gonna be a crazy winter. Can we just have a normal winter? Not too much, because if it gets super cold, it's just gonna be so bad for a lot of European countries this year. When I look at that whole electricity bill thing, it's like, oh heavens, no. Yeah, energy bill. Ooh, in Europe. Yeah, I see Italy, England, or Britain, Germany. It's all looking very bad. British Gas. What's the power company of Britain? I'm trying to remember my bills back in the days when I lived in England. Not cheap. I'm just thinking about the telephone bills, internet, TV license. The cool thing about England. Yeah, natural gas is, well, Nord Stream explosion. Oh, crap. Victorian women, P. The whole the whole dress and the under like shape to push the dress up and all that. I just can't, like, I can't imagine why people would bother with that. It's like so troublesome. And you can't even sit comfortably. And then you get, like, if you get caught by things like a car wheel, or if like it catches fire, you're like, shit, I can't even get out of this. It's some of the Western kind of dresses, like with huge, I mean, it's pretty, okay, but it's like everywhere I walk, I sweep the floor for free. So at the end of the day, if you go out, it's gonna gather all the mud and leaves and all the dirts outside. And like, how are you gonna shake it off before you go back to your house? I look at all those huge dresses, and like, England has very good healthcare. No, not right now. Overbooked. Millions of people are queued up, and it cannot deal with that many appointments. It's been going on this year, I know, for Is that NHS? Right now in England, it's just like really messy. Regional language. In China, it's not regional language, it's dialect. It's still the same language, pretty much, although sometimes you can, like, it's basically vocabulary and grammar are close enough that you can consider them all as one language, just different dialects. India has a different situation. India literally has like many different languages that are different languages to start with. China is more on the accent, but you also have like certain ethnic groups that are not Han. They have their own language that wouldn't be Mandarin, so that would be their language. That would be totally different from Mandarin. For example, like Dili, she speaks her local language, which I cannot understand at all, but it sounds really cool because she speaks super fast when she speaks her Weiwar yeah, her language. It's a totally different sound and very fascinating. But then not all minor ethnic groups in China have their own language. Some have, some do, some no longer have it, I think. It totally depends on which one. I know like a very small ethnic group called Hani, and they have their own language. But it's just because the population of that is so small that very few people know how to speak it anymore. And I happen to know somebody who is Hanizu, and they can't even speak it very well. Only the older people in their sort of group, like the old grandmothers, can still speak that. Yeah, Shanghai is a dialect. It's not a new language. It keeps a lot of older grammar and some kind of pronunciation that's older, let's say in the Mandarin. And then it even keeps certain sound that no longer exists in Mandarin, such as the 入声. So the consonant at the end of a word that doesn't get pronounced, but you stop. Certain languages have it still. You have it in Korean, where you don't pronounce the last consonant, but it stops right there before you pronounce it. So it exists in certain dialects in Chinese still, but not in Mandarin anymore. In Shanghai, you have that. In Cantonese, I think, yeah. So the southern certain dialects still keep the 入声, which no longer exists in Mandarin. Oh, what's the Shanghai word for that? A very good example. The other day I was looking at it and I forgot about it. I could give you an example, but I forgot what word it is in Shanghai dialect that still has 入声. Not every word, a few words in Shanghai Dialect still has that stopping at the end very abruptly. It's like you want to pronounce it, but you don't. Big dresses. Those dresses, you know, you can hide a person in it. Maybe like you can do that. It's pretty funny. You can hide somebody. When you go to carry out assassination, you can just hide a person in your huge skirt. It's 12, okay? I will do 5 more minutes and I'll call it a day. Thank you for watching this live stream. And then for the 2 persons, Clara and the person I cannot pronounce your name, you probably already emailed me. I'll go and check it out later. What happened? Hiding a person is definitely needed. Yes. The crazy days of French court. You know, the French court thing, that's the weirdest and totally just not understandable is everybody watches the king and the queen all the time. Like when they get up in the morning, when they brush their teeth, eat their breakfast, get dressed, everyone goes into their bedroom. And it's actually like you actually get ranks, like the most important person gets closest to the king and queen. And they line up and stand there just watching the king and queen getting dressed and getting their teeth brushed. And like, there's no privacy. What next? She's watching them make love. He's like, is that what you're gonna do? And to show your power, like how weird is that? I don't understand the psychology of that. Is to show your power, you do that so that they all watch you. Like why is that? So that's one thing I totally don't understand. I know it's like a whole thing that Louis XIV did is to show power, right? But like everybody gets into your bedroom, and then all those like dukes and like whatever aristocrats, they all line up and they're all dressed up so that every morning they have to get up like an hour earlier, 2 hours earlier than the king and queen, so that they get dressed and then they go there. That's just like making everybody so uncomfortable in the process. It's like, I can't imagine you be happy to see everybody watching you getting up in the morning, but then they have to be ready before that. Like, how could that work? For good. It's such a torture for everyone involved. So that's one thing that I find is just unbelievable. But it happened. Hey, people did it. I don't know. It's, you know. Yeah. Even the queen giving birth. Yeah, I've seen that documentary about. Everybody is watching her. Really? Well, maybe YouTube censored your line out. It does that automatically. Yeah, and then in China, it's a totally different thing. Like, at least what from the record you can see in Qin Dynasty, it's the polar opposite. It's super private. Nobody gets to see that apart from the very close servants of maids of the court people, like the queen, the empress, the emperor. And it never gets shown in public. Like, you know, imagine the subjects coming into your bedroom before you get up every morning. It's not possible. It's only the eunuch, the maids who are very closely picked for the people who ever got, you know, to see that. There's no official meeting before anything gets ready. And it will be unthinkable for the subjects to see the empress like not even dressed properly. That would be like unimaginable. Yeah, wow. Krishna. Yeah. Well, the world is an interesting place. Again, you know, proves that anything can happen under the sun. I mean, there probably will be servants who record things, like who went to sleep with who at what hours. Like that is like, but not like open to public viewing, you know. All right. Yeah, it's midday where I am. Finally, it's getting a bit light, but still snowing. Shit. Really? Holy. Okay, I was thinking about even when it snows, I want to go out this afternoon to do a couple of things, but now I cancel. Because I looked at the wind speed. It's close to 30 kilometers per hour, so that's bad. Like when it goes above 20, it's bad to go out. It's close to 30, so no. No. Unfortunately, I have to say no. And then get stuck where I am for the rest of the day. Thank you for watching this live stream. Take care. Let's hope like for the last 2.5 months we get not too much. Two more really good dramas. Tiny hope.